All right, this is going to be an exciting episode here. Today I'm going to talk about our 2020 housing market predictions. Everybody wants to know that. A lot of people are asking, are we going to enter a recession? Are housing prices going to continue to go up? Keep watching so you can find out.
Hi, this is David Pastana, owner of Rise Utah Realty in Orem. I want to share with you why I love Utah County. Join me as we explore the restaurants, businesses, community events, and incredible geography here. This is Utah County Life.
All right, thanks so much for watching, and please comment as you hear these things so that you can let me know if you agree with what I'm saying or if you think something different. Let us know what facts you've seen that would support your arguments. Also, follow us and like this and share it with your friends so that we can hear more and continue to make good content. Okay, thank you. As we go into 2020, one of the biggest things that happened last year is there was something called an inverted bond market. This is when long-term interest rates were lower percentage than short-term interest rates. And that is a reflection of how people felt about the future of the economy, thinking that it would slow down potentially into a recession. This inverted bond market has 100% prediction or predictability for a future economic recession. And so for that reason, the majority of people at that point really felt that we would enter into an economic recession in 2020. And so according to the numbers, from the time it happened, they said the average recession started within 18 months. So that would put it around a year from now in December of 2020, okay? However, they lowered interest rates and it boosted the economy. So when the Wall Street Journal asked, if that's the right word, or repolled economists, and they found out that the opinions of them had changed. Not so much their opinion, but their data had changed, and they are now less enthusiastic about a recession in 2020 and thinking that it may be delayed to 2021. Stats show that 34.2% of economists believe we'll have a recession in 2020, and a larger growing percent think we'll have it in 2021. Okay, but you decide. However, think about this. Don't, in your mind, don't confuse economic recession with housing recession, okay? So housing could still stay strong, and we'll talk about that in a second, while the stock market could go down. Those things have a correlation, but not a cause and effect, okay? So most of the time, let's separate those in our mind, housing recession versus economic recession, or basically when the housing goes down versus the economy. 2020 is an election year. It's going to be a big year for politics. I mean, it already has been in 2019. But as we go into 2020, regardless of what your political stance is, what I find is that there's going to be a lot of spin out there. Spin is when you take a fact and you spin it to support your opinion. And so, generally speaking, Republicans are going to want the economy to go well. So any positive data about the economy, they're going to bolster up to support them, because if the economy is going well, more people would be inclined to vote for the sitting president. If the economy is going down, that actually is taken by the Democrats to mean that the Republicans haven't done a good job and that we need a new president and we need to follow their policies. And I don't want to make that political, but I find that that's generally what's talked about. So it is to certain advantages politically if you go one way or another. So what that means for you is that when you watch the news about this coming year, you really should pay attention to say, is this an opinion of a fact or is this an actual fact? Because someone's opinion is not necessarily the reality. And so most of the time we're just spinning things. We're taking data and we're spinning it one way to support a political view. So in 2020, you're just going to hear a lot more of that. In the housing market, what we really look at, what's important is honestly jobs. I mean, the housing market just doesn't grow on its own. It's supported by people who buy houses, and they can only buy houses if they got jobs. So what we're looking at is how's the job market, because that's ultimately what really matters. It's not the stock market, it's the job market. And what we see here locally is that jobs are awesome. Unemployment's really low. We got a couple factors going on. The government's expanding the Salt Lake City Airport. They're expanding our freeway systems. That's taking keeping a lot of people employed. Those are going to go well into 2020, 2021, those particular things. The entrepreneurship industry is big because of our university systems. So we're pumping out a lot of new companies, and especially in the tech world, those get a lot more attention. So we got new jobs from them. And what you're seeing is because of these new jobs, people are making money. They feel good. And so that leads me into one additional thing which relates to job is something called consumer confidence. Like, if you feel positive about your economic future, you're more likely to invest, right? You're more likely to buy something, invest in the stock market, whatever. You just feel good about and more secure. Right now, consumer confidence is very high about the future. I think consumer confidence is what's most likely to change in 2020 as talks and fears of a future recession affect us. Now, if you believe that a recession is coming, you're going to hold off. You're not going to buy a house. So that could lower demand. But if you don't believe that, you're going to go ahead and personally invest. All right? Because of economic growth, we're seeing a lot of jobs. And that expansion of growth is increasing the number of available job slots and attracting people from other states to live here. And those who are born here have, now as they enter the job market, they graduate from universities, they have a job to take. So the job market is going well, and the population is growing, and that growth is creating huge pressures on the housing market to grow too. And so they are building as fast as they can, all of the builders, and guess what? They're selling everything they build. So what we anticipate is that into 2020, we're going to see what's called inventory problems. We are going to have a hard time keeping up again with this growth and demand into 2020. And as there's that economic turn, supply, demand, the more something is in demand, the more you can ask for it, right? So very little negotiation happens when you're talking to a builder and trying to get a price reduction. So what that does is it pushes home prices. It's as simple as that. So what we're seeing in essence, the 2020, we're going to see a lack of listing inventory because we have more buyers than sellers. That's going to be a seller's market continuing into 2020, and that's going to push the values up. Okay, now the next big question is, how much are they going to push it up? Well, the answer is, according to different statistics, one of the main ones that is coming out is that I think the market will go up 4.8% here in Utah. So not huge, but still an increase. So that's not exactly bad news. That's actually better news for us that it goes up slower. But let me put a little reference on that. Last year, these same people thought that the market would only go up 5 to 6%. That's what they said, 5 to 6%. Guess what we did? Over 8. Locally, some areas 10. So who knows what this is going to be? They've actually underpredicted, or however you say that, our area several years in a row, and we've outperformed every single year. I could see this year as a year of slowdown, most likely because of wavering consumer confidence, but the basic fundamentals are still there for strong and steady growth. Towards the end of last year, 2018 into 2019, we had really high interest rates. Well, relatively. We enjoyed many years in the mid 3s, and then they went up to over 5%. And then they started, I think it really started to slow the economy. You know, I saw that as a realtor, and I think the Federal Reserve and those guys saw it too. So what happened is they dropped interest rates late winter into spring, and for 3 months they went like over 5% down to mid threes. So 3.5 to 3.75. It was amazing. And that was like a adrenaline shot to the economy, to the real estate economy especially, because when you can get a lower interest rate, that means that house is so much more affordable for you. It saves you hundreds of dollars a month in payment. So once that happened, man, everybody rushed, bought houses. It was great. And so interest rates are expected to remain low this year. They're expected to stabilize at around 3.8% is what most people are telling me. So what would happen though if there was a recession? If you had a recession, guess what's going to happen to interest rates? Are they going to go up? Of course not. Interest rates will probably go down in a recession to help boost the economy. So if interest rates went to low threes, you know, even at one point they were high twos, that would boost the housing market as well, or at least maintain its value stronger because of affordable rates. I know someone like me, you know, if you're locked into a high three and now your rate can be low threes, that's a reason to refinance. So those things could help everybody. And interest rates will remain stable, and if things get worse economically, they could go even lower. So in summary, we predict much of the same into 2020. Housing prices will go up, interest rates will remain stable, there is still a seller's market, and if you're on the fence and waiting for the market to crash, it's not going to happen this coming year. And we could talk about future years, but we can't see that far. So right now things are looking good, and if you're looking to buy, I'd probably tell you to buy now because of the direction that things are headed. You would make great equity this next year. Hey, it's David here. Thank you again for watching this video. I really appreciate you supporting the content and your involvement. Please share it with your family and friends so we can keep giving you good stuff. And of course, as always, we are real estate brokers here in the state of Utah. We would love to help you, and we have a huge network outside if you need help there too to find you the best realtor. But give us a call or direct message us below. Thanks.